Even your son agrees. You're a disappointment. My wife laughed. During family dinner, he told me he hopes he never ends up like you. My teenage son just looked down at his plate. Silent, I didn't argue. The next morning I packed a bag, closed our joint account, and took back the tuition check I'd given her last week. 2 weeks later, she showed up at my new place with our son begging me to come home. My kitchen has always been my sanctuary. Last Sunday night, I was making my signature pasta, the one dish everyone in my house actually agrees on. My son Eric, 16, was setting the table, while my wife Amanda was scrolling through her phone laughing at something. I couldn't see Dad. When are we going to Italy like you promised? Eric asked, placing the silverware once the Henderson project wraps up, I replied, stirring the sauce. Maybe spring break. He'd been putting in 60-hour weeks at the architecture firm I'd helped build from the ground up. Not glamorous enough for Amanda's taste, but it paid for the house, the cars, her master's degree, and would eventually cover Eric's college. Amanda snorted without looking up. Your father's been saying that for 3 years. The timing hasn't been right, I said, keeping my voice even. The firm always needs something, she cut in. Meanwhile, life passes us by, while you're hunched over blueprints. I'd heard variations of this complaint for years. Amanda had once found my dedication attractive. Now it was her favorite target. We sat down to eat. Eric was quieter than usual, pushing pasta around. His plate. Midterms were coming up, and I knew he was stressed about his AP classes. How's school going? I asked him before he could answer. Amanda jumped in. He's doing fine, despite having an absent father. Got an A on that history paper you were too busy to help with. I looked at Eric. I thought you said you didn't need help with that one. His shrugged eyes fixed on his plate. He didn't want to bother you. Amanda continued, twirling pasta on her fork. Even your son agrees. You're a disappointment. He told me he hopes he never ends up like you. The kitchen went silent. I looked at Eric, whose face had drained of color. He didn't deny. It just stared at his plate. His shoulders hunched. I'm sorry you both feel that way, I said quietly, setting down my fork. Oh, don't get all wounded. Amanda waved dismissively. It's not like this is news to you. I finished my meal in silence, cleared my plate, and went to my home office. Closed the door, sat in the dark. It wasn't the first cutting remark, or even the 20th, but somehow using my son against me crossed a line I couldn't uncross more significantly. Eric's silence felt like confirmation. I spent that night reviewing our finances on my laptop. 17 years of marriage distilled into spreadsheets and account statements. Joint checking account, joint savings, my personal retirement accounts, college fund for Eric, the second mortgage we'd taken out for Amanda's degree 3 years ago, which I'd been paying myself despite our agreement to split it. The tuition check for her final semester was sitting in her purse. $14,000. I'd written the previous week. Graduation was just months away, the finale of her long-delayed educational journey, her ticket to the career that would finally make her happy. Or so she'd said. I slept in the guest room that night, claiming a headache. Amanda didn't question it. Morning came. I waited until they both left Eric to school. Amanda towed her internship. Then I made 3 phone calls, first to my attorney, who wasn't surprised to hear from me. He'd drawn up our wills, knew our finances, had seen Amanda's thinly veiled contempt during meetings. I'll prepare the paperwork, he said. Just tell me where to send. It's second call my bank. I explained the situation to the manager who'd handled my business accounts for years. I'm removing myself from our joint accounts and opening new ones solely in my name. Understand she'll still have access to what's currently in the joint accounts. Last call my oldest friend, Marcus, who owned a rental property across town that had just become vacant. Meet a place for a while, I explained. Going through some things, stay as long as you need, he said without hesitation. Keys under the mat, rents, whatever you can manage. Then I packed methodically, clothes, important documents, hard drive, with family photos, my father's watch. I retrieved the tuition check from Amanda's purse, not stealing, just taking back what was mine, what hadn't been cashed yet. I left a note on the kitchen counter, short, direct. I'm taking some time away. The joint account has enough for 2 months of household expenses. My cell is On if Eric needs me, David, no dramatics, no accusations, just facts, is stopped by my attorney's office on the way to Marcus's place, signed preliminary paperwork handed over, financial documentation, set things in motion, then I went silent, turned off notifications from. Amanda let calls go to voicemail, responded only to Eric's occasional tentative texts, with brief neutral replies. Hope the math test went well. Yes, I'm okay. Focus on school for now. The first wave hit 2 days later when Amanda discovered the tuition check was gone. 15 missed calls, voicemails, escalating from confused to angry to threatening. You can't just take that money, David. I need it for tuition. Call me back immediately. Then the joint account 3 days of silence before she realized I was no longer depositing. My paycheck's there, more calls, more threats. This is financial abandonment. My lawyer will destroy you. I didn't engage, didn't argue. Let the process work itself out. A week passed. I settled into a routine at Marcus's place. Went to work, came home, cooked simple meals. Slept better than I had in years. Then Eric called his first actual call. Since I'd left Dad, his voice sounded smaller than his 16 years. Hey, buddy, where are you? A tremor in his voice, staying at Marcus's rental for a while. Mom says you abandoned us that. You took all the money. I took a deep breath. I left enough in the joint account for 2 months of expenses. I just redirected my new paychecks to my personal account, silence then. And Mom's tuition check. That was my money. Eric, I can choose what to do with it. She says she can't finish her degree now. That's between your mother and me. Another pause. She's really mad. Dad. She's talking about selling your car. The car is in my name. She can't legally sell it. Oh, he sounded surprised. I didn't know. That we talked a bit longer about school, his upcoming track meet, normal things before hanging up. He asked, is this because of what Mom said about me saying those things? Did you say them, Eric? His voice dropped to a whisper. Not exactly. She kept asking if I was disappointed. That you missed my science fair. I just said I wished you'd been there. She kind of took it from there. Something tight in my chest loosened slightly. I'm sorry I missed the fair. The project sounded incredible. It was okay, he mumbled. Got second place. I'm proud of you. Thanks, Dad. A pause. Are you coming home? Not right. Now, but I'm still here for you always. After we hung up, I sat in Marcus's spare bedroom for a long time. The next day, I called my attorney and added a stipulation to the divorce papers the house would remain in my name until Eric finished high school with Amanda, allowed to live there for his stability. After that, we'd sell it and split the proceeds. It was fair, more than fair, according to my attorney. 2 weeks after I left. My doorbell rang on a Saturday morning. I opened it to find Amanda and Eric standing. There she looked, thinner makeup, not quite hiding the shadows under her eyes. Eric stood slightly behind her, hands shoved in his pockets, gaze darting between us. Can we talk? Amanda asked, voice lacking its usual edge. I let them in. Marcus's place was small, but neat, a living room with basic furniture, open kitchen, 2 bedrooms. I'd made coffee, already offered them cups. Eric accepted, Amanda declined. You need to come home, she said once we were seated. This has gone on long enough. I'm not coming back, Amanda. Because of one comment at dinner, that's ridiculous. It wasn't one comment. It was the last in a very long series. So you're punishing me by withholding money, real mature. I looked at Eric, who was staring intently at his coffee mug. Eric, would you mind giving us a few minutes? He nodded, relieved, and retreated to the small balcony with his phone. Once he was out of earshot, I turned back to Amanda. I'm not withholding anything. I left sufficient funds for expenses. I'm just not funding your degree anymore after everything I've sacrificed. What exactly have you sacrificed? Amanda, I paid for the degree. I covered household expenses while you studied. I arranged my schedule around your classes. I put my career on hold to raise Eric. That was your choice, a choice we made together with the understanding that we were partners. But partners don't undermine each other. They don't turn their children against each other. Didn't you? Did. Repeatedly for years. I kept my voice level. The divorce papers have been filed. My lawyer will contact yours to work out the details. Her face pad divorce over this. No, over 17 years of this. She switched tactics immediately. Yes, welling up, David, please. I was frustrated. You know how stressed I've been with finals coming up. You're always stressed. Amanda, always, frustrated. Always unhappy with something I've done. Or haven't done. I'm tired. What about Erikov? You thought about what this will do to him every second of every day. That's why you're keeping the house until he graduates. That's why I've arranged a generous support structure. That's why I've been responding to his texts even while avoiding yours. Something shifted in her expression. Their realization that I'd thought this through, that this wasn't an impulsive reaction she could manipulate me out of, and my degree. All that work for nothing. You have options. Student loans, teaching, assistantships, the same options other adult students use. She stood abruptly. You won't get away with this. I'll take everything. There's nothing to take. Amanda, the house is already accounted for. The retirement accounts are protected. Eric's college fund is in an irrevocable trust. All that's left is deciding custody arrangements and support payments, which I'm more than willing to be generous with. The anger drained from her face, replaced by something I hadn't seen in years. Uncertainty. She called Eric in from the balcony. He returned, eyes darting between, sensing the tension. Your father's not coming home, she told him flatly. He's divorcing. Mirik looked at me. Something like relief flickering across his features before he controlled it. Can I still see you? Of course, I said immediately. As much as you want, my door is always open. Amanda grabbed her purse. We're leaving. Eric hesitated. Actually, could I stay for a bit, talk to Dad? She stared at him, lips tightening, then nodded curtly. Fine, I'll be in the car. She left without another word. Once the door closed, Eric's shoulders sagged. Is this really happening? I nodded. I'm sorry. It's come to this, don't be, he said quietly. It's been hard at home for a long time. We talked for an hour. Really, talked in a way we hadn't in years about school, his friends, his worries, his relief when he finally left to join Amanda in the car. He hugged me tightly. I didn't say those things, Dad. Not the way she said them. I know, buddy. I know. I watched them drive away, feeling lighter than I had in years. Not happy. This wasn't a happy ending, but it was. An ending I could live with. And maybe the beginning of something healthier for all of us. Especially Eric. Update. 6 weeks. Later. First, thank you for all the supportive comments. I've read everyone, even if I couldn't respond to all. The divorce proceedings are underway. My attorney was right. Having documentation of finances and a clear plan made things considerably smoother. Amanda initially threatened to fight for everything, but their lawyer apparently explained the reality of our situation. The papers outline exactly what I'd planned. She stays in the house until Eric graduates, then we sell it and split proceeds. Retirement accounts remain separate. College fund untouchable. The most significant development has been with Eric. After that first weekend, he asked if he could stay with me on alternating weekends. I cleared the second bedroom at Marcus's place, bought him a desk for homework, set up a proper space. Those weekends have become something I look forward to all week. During his last stay, he told me Amanda has been different. Since I left, quieter, less combative. She took a waitressing job at night to cover expenses, and apparently hasn't mentioned her degree in weeks. I feel no pleasure in this. Despite everything, she's still Eric's mother, and her stability matters to him. As for the tuition check, several commenters asked, what happened with that? I never cashed it, but I also never gave it back. It's still sitting in my desk drawer, a reminder of boundaries. Suppose Amanda found alternative funding for her final semester through a combination of last-minute financial aid and a small loan. She'll graduate next month. I won't be attending the ceremony, but I did ask Eric if he would give her a card from me, congratulating her for his sake. If nothing else, Marcus has offered to let me take over the lease on the rental property, which I'm considering. It's smaller than what I'm used to, but there's something appealing about the simplicity. Less space, less maintenance, more time to focus on rebuilding my relationship with my son. Work has improved significantly without the constant drain of an unhappy home life. I've been more productive, more creative, more present. The Henderson project that Amanda mocked is now being featured in a regional architecture publication. A fact I haven't shared with her, but did celebrate quietly with my team the most unexpected outcome, has been my relationship with Eric without the constant tension at home. Without Amanda's running commentary on my inadequacies, he's opening up more last weekend. He brought his design portfolio to show me something he's been working on for months, but never mentioned the kid has serious talent. We're looking at art schools together, now planning college visits for next fall. Some have asked if I regret leaving so abruptly instead of trying to work things out. I don't. 17 years of subtle undermining, of constant criticism, of using my child as a weapon against. Some things can't be fixed with couples therapy and good intentions. As Eric said during one of our weekend talks, it's quieter now, even when we're talking. I think that sums it up perfectly. Edit. Since posting this update, I've received hundreds of messages asking for more details. A few clarifications for those concerned about abandonment claims. Affecting the divorce, my attorney documented everything, including the funds I left in the joint account sufficient for mortgage, utilities, and living expenses for 2 months. We also have records of the consistent financial support I've provided since moving out. This isn't abandonment, it's reorganization regarding child custody. Eric is 16, old enough for the courts to consider his preference given his age, and our current arrangement weekends with me, weekdays with Amanda for school. It's likely to continue this way until he graduates. He's expressed contentment with this setup for now. Several commenters suggested I should have confronted Amanda about her comment immediately at dinner. Consider this a public confrontation with my teenage son's audience. Would have accomplished what exactly? More tension, more ammunition. Sometimes the strongest response isn't an immediate reaction, but a calculated exit to the person who called my actions financial abuse. Supporting someone through their degree, paying all associated costs for years, then choosing not to write one final check is not abuse, it's a boundary. Amanda found alternative funding within weeks, proving she had options. Long last point, many have asked if there's hope for reconciliation, while I never say never. I'm not looking backward. The relief I've felt since leaving, relief that my son has independently confirmed he shares, tells me this was long overdue. Some chapters need to end before better ones can.